Welcome to Journey of One. This is a show where I travel around Southern California to check out fun events and interesting things to see. Oftentimes I'll be traveling on my own, showing that you can often have a unique experience when you travel solo, as well as showing that you can have a good time and enjoy life on your own, but if friends or family join you, then all the better. So, thanks for watching. Let's begin the journey. On this week's journey, I'm joined by my father, my uncle Jesse, and my cousin Jay as we go on a road trip to Solvang, California. But before we could get going, our trip had a rather unexpected start, or rather, wouldn't start. The battery on my dad's bike was completely drained, so we had to give it a jump. Fortunately, before too long, we got it going and we were on our way and cruising down the coastline. In the Malibu trip video from earlier this year, we came down this same highway. If you want, you can go see more of the beach cities in that video, as today was particularly overcast, causing my action cam on my helmet to get foggy, a fact I didn't notice until about halfway through the ride. In that video, we only went as far as Malibu, but today we were traveling much farther as Solvang is located north of Santa Barbara, about a 4-hour drive from my home. Past Malibu, we headed towards Oxnard, passing a lot of farming land along the way. We took a short pit stop at about halfway into our trip, giving us time to stretch, top off our gas tanks, and for me to defog my camera. After which we continued off and jumped back onto the 101 North Highway, which runs along the coast. We took an exit towards Ojai and went down this great countryside-like road with some orchards and farmlands along the way. But soon we realized it was the wrong exit, so sadly we had to turn back around and travel back further north. After a seemingly endless bit of traffic we got caught in on the 101, we finally reached the right off-ramp, which would take us through the hills and into Solvang. One of the awesome joys of riding a motorcycle through scenic areas like this is really being able to take it all in. You're out in the open with beautiful sights all around. Add on top of that, nice curving roads which let you use the agility and thrill of riding, and it makes these road trips such a pleasure to go on. As we ascended higher up into the mountains, we got out and above the cloud cover and were bathed in nice warm sunshine, and we were doubly rewarded with these outstanding mountain views as we traveled along that would take your breath away. That is, if it wasn't being blown into your face at 50 miles per hour. We'd reached the mountaintop, passing another group of riders heading back out as we made our final approach into Solvang. Solvang, sometimes called Dutchtown, has been around since 1911 and is known best for its Danish heritage and culture. Featuring Danish architecture on most of the buildings, it's a bit like traveling into the Netherlands, but I'm sure a bit warmer. As it's located in the Santa Ynez Valley, there are also many wineries and other international dining options. However, we, not normally world travelers, chose to stop at the Big Bopper, which served up some more American food options for a quick meal before heading over to the Motorcycle Museum located here in Solvang. If you like motorcycles or just cool historical vehicles, this is a really cool place to stop by to see this expansive collection, with a knowledgeable and passionate staff happy to answer any questions you might have. I personally ride a Triumph Bonneville, so it was cool to see some Triumphs on display, like this one which was the type James Dean owned and rode on. This ice racer bike was really neat, and I wouldn't be surprised to see it in a Mad Max movie sequel. On display were also several types of bikes that were used for racing or setting land speed records, and they came in all shapes and sizes. I'm glad I didn't have to ride here on this bike with these long, awkward handlebars and a wooden seat that couldn't have been comfortable. These really old motorcycles really help you understand why they're called that, as they seem little more than a bicycle with a motor strapped into the frame. I really love seeing some of the odder pieces here, especially like this bike with what appeared to be a duckbill front. The museum even had this replica of a three-wheeled 1886, yes, 1886 Benz, the first gas-powered car. After the museum, we walked back down the main streets and took in some of the town, with its traditional windmills and shops. That's with 2 P's and an E, mind you. Also there is this recreation of the famous Little Mermaid statue, which is located in Copenhagen, Denmark. One of the stops you absolutely have to make is into Olsens Danish Village Bakery and Coffee Shop. Here they have enough delicious pastries, breads, and cookies to satisfy any sweet tooth. Most notably known for their cookies sold in these pails, which can be bought in retail stores, but are best right from the source. Since we'd gotten a bit of a late start, we couldn't stay too long, so we got back on the bikes and headed out the other side of Solvang on our way home. Fortunately, we were treated with even more great views on this path as well, making the ride home just as enjoyable. As we exited the mountains, we were dropped right back onto the coast, this time with the sun shining, giving us a picturesque California coastline to ride along. Before long, my Uncle Jesse and Cousin Jay had to split off to head home, but it was a pleasure having them along on this trip. If you would like to see more, I'll be posting my journal notes on the website journeyofone.com later this week, along with the full-length ride videos. Thanks as always for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe, and check back next week as I go on another Journey of One.